Alright everyone, this is Dreamlicker again. I'm going to be showing you all how to create a basic woodcutter. So we're going to create a new project in, what the fuck? What? Oh, okay. So we're going to create a new project, and we create a package. We're going to make it the main package. Create another package for our utility classes. And now we're going to create an enum called, I don't know, fucking wood. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. Um, Create a new class in here. We're going to call it main because that's generic and super fun. Now you gotta extend abstract script as usual. And obviously, we don't have the dependency for the client in the module, so we have to add that, as you do with every script you have to make. Now you can import and implement the different things you need. Yeah, so we're going to make a state, set it to -1. It's going to be an integer. That way in our on loop we can say if our state is one number, we can do some shit. If it's another number, we do some other shit. You can, I don't know, you can do whatever the fuck you want for your state. It doesn't have to be an integer. That's just my preference. So if state's 0, we're going to cut things. If it's 1, we're going to bank them. And if it's 2, we're going to drop them. And obviously you don't want this to be that. So we're going to do anywhere from 300 to 400 milliseconds as our sleep value for the on loop. And when we start, we're just going to set state to 0. I do this because if you have a GUI and your state initializes to 0, then it'll try to start doing things before you've set up your variables in the GUI. So if you were going to have a GUI, you would not put that in on-start, but you would put that in your GUI's start action listener. But I will probably do a video on that sometime later. So anyways, we're going to make private void cut, private void bank, and private void drop. So now I'm going to go into the wood enum. And in this enum, I'm going to just an enum can be used to store information, and this is probably the most effective way to store information for this purpose. So we're going to have normal, oak, willow, maple, yew, and magic. I know there are other logs. If you want to do that, then feel free. Do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah, you can't do public. Or maybe you can. I don't even know. But we want the name. We want tree name. And this is actually, I'm going to change this to log name for a little better of clarity there. And then, you basically just got to think, what information do we need to gather for each one? So for now, I'm just going to keep those because, if you figure out something later that you need, you can put that in. So we put in both the tree name and the log name into the constructor, and we're going to generate, what the fuck is insert? Insert, come on. Yeah, generate getters and setters for both of those, which you can do by hitting Alt Insert, or you can go to code generate. So we're going to set our log name to the log name, set tree name, and what this lets you do is in your constructor for the enums, logs tree. and then oak logs, oak tree. I don't really know if this is what they're called, but you guys get the point, I'm sure. Willow logs and a willow tree, and etc., etc., etc. I'm not actually going to fill these out, because I don't really care. But what that lets you do, that is the wrong class. What that lets you do is you can go into your main class and you make a new wood object, and we're going to call that our current log. So in our onStart, because we don't have a GUI, we want to set our current log to be any of the logs. So as you can see, you can select any of your logs, and we'll just do normal for now. And alright, you go to your cut method, because actually let's go to the drop method, because this is really easy. So if your inventory contains your log's name, we're going to drop all of those logs. Brilliant. Otherwise, our state is 0, because that is the cutting state. And that's all you gotta do for dropping, so that's a lot of fun. But if our inventory is not full, we're going to cut things, otherwise we're going to move into our, actually I'm going to make this true. So I made this boolean here called drop for this purpose here. So if our inventory is full, which means we would go into this statement, if we're dropping, then we're going to go to state 2. Otherwise, we're going to go to state 1. So if you were to have a GUI, you'd have like a little checkbox or something saying banking, and if you were banking, this would be false. So that would handle that. But if our local player is far away from the current game object that contains the current log's tree name, we'll say like 5, I don't know, then we're gonna walk to it. And I'm actually gonna store this because we don't want to keep creating new game objects in memory. Why can't I do that? Oh, right, that's not a thing. Alright, so now for our distance from our game object is greater than 5, we're going to walk to the game object, and we're going to sleep until we are no longer moving, and we'll like give it a 4600 to like, I don't know, 5400. Who cares? Not me. Or I actually like to do this on 2 lines. Or if or if the local player's distance from the client's destination is less than like some number, then we will break out of the sleep. And what that does is when the client clicks to move, you get that little red destination flag. And if we just had this in the sleep, it would not try to walk again until it got to until it stopped moving. But once we add this in, once you're within this amount of the destination, it will click again, which obviously is much more human-like. So this is a huge thing that you need to include in all of your scripts, because otherwise it's obvious. But if we are within the distance, then we want to interact with it. and it's like chopped down or some shit, I don't really know. And then we want to sleep until the game object no longer exists, perhaps, or you know, some shit like that. Or we're not animating. So I'm gonna put like a ridiculous amount of time on this one because, you know, trees can take a long fucking time to cut sometimes. So we're gonna also do is animating, or is not animating. And if this causes issues in the script, then, because sometimes your player will not have an animation intermittently, and that can cause issues to where it will think that you're no longer like cutting down the tree, and it'll interact with it again, and you don't want that. But that is literally all you need. That is the entire. That's it. I don't know. I can't make it any simpler than that. For banking, I'm actually gonna see if I've got my banking method in this class. No, I just did dropping. Okay. Well, let me grab the banking method for my open source mining script because it's the shit for being lazy. So, as you can see, this is the banking method. All of these need to be changed. And, alright. If you don't understand what I'm doing right here, don't worry about it. Just, you know, you know what calculations.random does, so you can kind of figure out what I'm doing here. If you don't know what calculations.random does, it's pretty obvious, so you should probably figure that out. But, we obviously want to change that to X, because we're not mining. But, what this is saying, if our bank is open, we're going to deposit everything except for an X, and we close the bank, and then we wait until the bank is not open, and then we set the state back to 0, so we're going to start cutting again. But if we are, otherwise, if the bank's not open, and we are greater than 5 tiles away from the closest bank location, then we walk to the location and we do the same sleep as we did before. Otherwise, if we are close to the bank, we open it, and I don't know why that's there. That doesn't need to be there. But yeah, that's it. This shit should work. I'm gonna pause really quick and see if... Can I pause? No? Okay, maybe I'm not going to pause it. But yeah, that should seriously be all you need to do. I'm gonna make another video where I make a GUI for this, just to show the interaction. I'm going to show this script in action as well, and we'll see how it works. Obviously, this is not going to be like the, you know, premium, awesome woodcutting script, but this is just like an introduction to the kind of logic and rationality that goes into creating something like this. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope you all learned from it. Have a good day.